Guys, so I will place the camera a little bit closer. So I hope you're ready for today's stretch and mobility class. And focus today is our chest and shoulders. So I chose to separate a lot of subjects because I can put a little bit more information into each, not taking too much in one class. So it will be easier for you as well to grasp the information and to understand why we're doing the things we're doing. Wonderful. So we will start. And today is beautiful sunshine in the studio. I'm so happy to have sunshine. And that means that you can see me quite well. I think I will go a little bit closer. Sorry for me. I just, sorry for this. I want you to see me properly. Yeah, wonderful. So all the equipment you're going to need today is a resistance band. I wrote in description that you're going to need a small resistance band for your shoulders so it's not too thick. I have this kind of band, okay? And you can tie it up in the, if you have a long one, okay? You can tie it up as you please to make it in your own way. So you're going to see where we're going to need them afterwards. And of course, a few blocks would come in handy or something that is similar to blocks. So we're going to start to warm up with our spine. Spine is really important because we're going to work with our chest today as well. So that's why we're going to warm up. So let's go on the position on our four. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So this is the position on our four. Since I gave a lot of information about how to hold in a position on your four and in your planks in the off the pole conditioning class, I will not speak about it today in this class, just to give it more time to speak about the other stuff as well, so I don't get carried away with repeating all the information which you already listened into off the pole conditioning class. So take the position on your four. Remember the proper engagement, what we need here, okay? Neutral position. And we going a little bit forward, rounding your spine, and moving down onto a child's pose. Then you place down the elbows, round, extend, exhale. Okay, round, go back, child's pose, elbows, push, round, extend. And we're going to put one more movement adding to this, opening up your chest. So it's really important that when you open up the chest, you're not just arching in your lower back. The chest opening part actually happens just here, okay? Here. Chest opens just this. So when people say chest open, you need to open up your more chest, like you need to bend more in your chest, you actually cannot do that. You all what chest does is here. This little movement. This is open chest. You can open up shoulders a little bit more, that helps. And pull your shoulder blades more together, okay? And pulling the ground underneath you. So that is how you're engaging this opening. And you should feel the tummy is stretching nicely here, okay? So a little bit forward with opening up here, pulling the ground underneath you. Exhale, round your back, child's pose on your elbows, round, open, child pose, elbows. And now I'm walking with open position back. Elbows round, open, elbows round. Try to feel the movement in your spine. It's just actually really comfortable. You can do this a lot more slower if you like. You walk here slowly. Exhale. Push. Go back. Really nice, really nice. You feel like your spine is warming up, a little bit mobility in there is happening. So now we're going to do the lateral spinal waves. So you're going to move your butt a little bit diagonal and kind of see, see, it's like that easy. So it's difficult movement actually. So you kind of have to break it down. Your butt moves diagonal and you're placing the weight over there. So just don't make this movement too big, okay? Small movement, just the spine involved. So butt goes to the side and then it goes to the other side. One side to the other side. And try to make sure that your upper back is involved in this movement as well. A little bit body awareness exercise, trying to understand what are we doing here. Okay. And now we can round. Keep breathing. And switch. So the warm-up video, what I made separately, you can use it into pole classes. Because usually in stretch and mobility classes, we will warm up with these kind of exercises before we go deeper. So since today is all about shoulders and chest, a lot of exercises for your spine. Now, stay in your position on your floor, move to one elbow, move to other, round, push up, elbow, elbow, rounding, pushing up. And you should feel the side now involves in the stretch. And it should feel really comfortable. Just continue breathing. Make this movement gradual, okay? Elbow, now you feel the stretch. Round your upper back as much as you can here. Elbow, now you arch. Elbow extend, now you stretch to one side and then you extend the other. Sorry. So it's kind of important that you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're putting your elbows in shoulder wide positions so they are not opening up, okay? They're going right underneath your shoulders. And we switching the other one. Keep breathing. So on the arms and shoulders here are warming up as well. And that is really good for us. Nice. Now we're having rounding your from this position round, like you're going into child's pose, you're rounding your back. And here you slide one hand to the front and stretch. Coming up, pushing off strongly from that hand. So elbow goes close to your body. So you stretch, push off, come back. Round, going back. Round, open up and slide the other one. Push off. round. Exhale. Inhale. Push. Round. Exhale. Let's do one more. So here your hands are underneath your shoulders. Look to the front, elbow close. Push off, round. Okay, you can play around with this exercise as well. You can come from this position when you're coming up, you can arch, go back here. Round, arch, arch, back. Or you can switch. You go with round to the front, arch here, rounded back, arch, slide, and rounded back. So whatever you please to find, this exercise is really nice for shoulders, warming up and stretching them out, as well as for your spine. Now, your position on your floor, you're going to tuck in, slide the leg to the opposite hand. Now from here, it slides straight and you open and stretch. So here you're engaging, firstly, your straight leg, pushing it away, okay? And you are doing a little bit of rotation here, but still facing the floor. And the other one, from diagonal and back. Opposite knee touches elbow. Extend, open up, and back. Opposite knee, extend, open up, and back. Let's do each one more. Try to keep neutral position. Touch, extend, rotate. Whew. The more you engage the leg, the bigger stretch you feel. Now we're going to round and shift weight forward and back. And open up and shift weight forward and back. And neutral position, child's pose. Okay, and hands walk to the one side. If you're walking to your left, right thumb is looking up, and enjoy the stretch here. And to the center, and to the other side. Nice. Whew. So spine is really important. And that's why I wanted to start today with our spine mobility, with movement here, so you can feel all the parts you can actually move by just staying on a position on your floor. Also, we warmed up our shoulders quite well, okay? And this is one way how to start to build up your body awareness. When you're trying to do the exercises slow and try to actually understand what is going on there. How can I stretch a little bit more? Or if I want, how can I stretch a little bit less if you want, okay? So that is how you try to build up from the feeling, okay? How you feel in that exercise. What exercise, what we're actually doing over there, okay? So the next block we're going to touch now is a decompression in your shoulders. So before we start to actually work on shoulder stability, injury prevention, and stuff like that, we have to decompress them. So you take a position on your forward, the same as we did. I'm just facing you now so you can see what I'm doing here. So fingers wide open, as always. Okay, nothing changes here. And we're going to rotate in and out. This rotation is happening in your shoulder joint. So you firstly have to be aware the shoulder is a joint and there are muscles attached to that joint. And if those muscles are weak or imbalanced, injuries will come. That's for sure, especially if you're doing pole, okay? And the common injury section is the rotator cuff. I will talk about that a little bit later, but I will pay attention to this and try to explain you why we need stability in our shoulders as well as mobility and strength as well. So now your elbow is rotating out. So that means you're making an internal rotation in your shoulders. As you can see, the shoulders come closer to my ears. I'm moving down here. Try to feel the movement that is happening in your shoulder joints. Kind of stretch, keep your full palms onto the floor and circle. Elbows close, push back. So what I just felt is heat going through my shoulder joints. You're going down slowly because you're warming up, you're stretching a little bit, you're making weird positions for your shoulders that kind of helps them to decompress from whatever we're doing, okay? Are we doing pole every day or we're lifting weights, whatever. The shoulder decompression is for everyone. It actually, everyone needs it. I'm just sometimes pretty sad that a lot of people are not doing it. So, okay, still internal rotation in the shoulder joint, elbows looking out. Go as deep as you can. Circled movement, pushing out. Now you're creating a slight external rotation, as you can see, because biceps are looking in the front and you cannot see your elbows. Okay, try to engage this position as well. Okay, make sure your spine is neutral. Okay, do not arch and do not overtuck. Try to keep your lower back in neutral position. Okay, so it's not arch, it's not overtuck. Neutral is something in the middle. And let's continue. A couple of more of these. Try to breathe. Inhale. Exhale when you're coming up. Inhale. Exhale. And now we're switching direction. External rotation, elbows close. Great. Push out. Round, going back. Breathe. One more. Nice. Stay a position on your four. Inhale, spine is neutral, and the hand goes through. And look up. Equal weight on both knees. Try not to shift. Try to feel the twist in your upper back. Your trapezius should be stretching now. It's like, wow. Look up and breathe. Push back. Inhale. Exhale. I'm back. I don't know if you're seeing that I'm shaking in this exercise. So about this exercise, I see very often that my students don't quite understand it. Uh, the twist you are creating in your upper back looks like this, only you're trying to go deeper by leaving your hips the way they are. Like that is what creates the twist. If your hips are going along, the twist is slightly smaller. So when you're going into this exercise, into this position, you try to leave hips facing down, and then you're pushing off from this hand. See, I'm trying to lift up the upper body, but hips stay where they are. And that is what I meant by equal weight on both knees. If the one hip will lift up a little bit more, then you will put all the weight to the other knee. Equal weight on both knees means the hips look down in this exercise. And when you're trying to do this and stay looking with hips to the front, it actually creates a great twist in your upper back. And it's a wonderful exercise which you need to do almost every day because our back needs twisting once in a while just to stretch out the things we do. And if you did this exercise correctly, you will probably feel lighter, like more mobile, more free, less tension, okay? And this class is about less tension. Of course, we will do strengthening exercises as well, but okay, you will see. When it comes, you will see. So let's try to do this one more time with being aware where our hips are actually looking. Inhale, exhale, hips looking down. Coming up and switch. And back. So in this exercise, my back usually does this crack, 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 both sides. And it feels so light that you can do this to yourself. So you don't have to ask no one to crack your back to make you feel lighter. So, okay, this is about shoulder decompression. We can stretch them out a little bit more as well. So I'll show you simple stretching exercises for your shoulders that can actually help you release the tension after workouts. So first one is your trapezius. The more tightened your trapezius muscle is, the more tightened your chest muscle is, the more your shoulder actually is in danger. So we will start with trapezius stretch, lately my favorite one, that stretches here the upper side of it, including your neck a little bit. Make your spine look neutral. It means that you put your tailbone back into place with straight sitting here, okay? So you do not arch, neutral. And you place your fists, connecting your palms together to the one side. Push your elbows together. Like this elbow that's outside, it's pushing really close. Try to maintain your position, pushing your elbow close. And then head moves away from the fist. And you should feel nice stretch in your trapezius. You can move it down a bit, back to the side. Down a bit, back to the side. And switch. Push your elbow close. Down a bit and to the side. See, this movement is small. I'm just trying to stretch a little bit more by slightly moving. Nice. Close your elbows, round a little bit. Mhm. Great, great. So now we will move to the external rotation in your shoulders. So mostly what we all do on the pole, mostly all of the movements are internal rotation. So imagine if everything what you do is actually putting a pressure on your chest muscle here, and let me remember the internal rotation muscle, which is subscapularis. So rotator cuff consists with four muscles: supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis. Those four muscles are around your joint here. Two of them are doing the external rotation. One is doing abduction, which is lifting up the hand, okay? And only one muscle is doing the internal rotation, helping the joint. So imagine the pressure that it's under. That one muscle is actually the one muscle is protecting your joint, not so doing all the load on the pole. So you have to even out that pressure with stretching out your chest muscle and working with external rotation just to balance your shoulder out. It's really, really important. So you can do exercises with internal rotation as well, but we actually do not need that now in this case because it's already doing too much. So common, how can see if you have overworked your chest and your shoulders are in balance is your posture. As you can see, my posture here now looks like shit. These muscles are tightened and shortened, of course, because of the load. Doing too much work. Here, the back muscles sometimes are weak and they cannot help to hold your posture as well as actually involve in some activities you're actually doing. So, and that causes overwork here if your back is weak as well. So, a lot of things are going wrong at this point. So, when you're like this. So what you have to do is work with external rotation. Stretch out your chest and try to think about your posture as well. Strengthen your neck flexors as I showed you in of the pole class. Okay, this is important section as well. And you have to strengthen your upper back. Okay, trapezius always working a lot, so always trapezius muscle feels tight and it feels like, oh, I need a massage. And when somebody is actually massaging you, it fucking hurts because it's too tightened up. It's always involved in a lot of movement. So all what you need to strengthen actually is your shoulder blade, is your scapula to make it work and put everything back into place. And if this more or less scene looks balanced to you when you look in the mirror, you're doing great. If not, you just need to put your mind to it and work with it, okay? Because the injuries come. It's as serious as everything what happens around here, okay? So I just want to put a lot of attention to these things. So starting external rotation, I have lots of exercises for that. I will try to pick out my favorite ones. So we will start without the resistance band, and then we're going to do with resistance band. So now we're taking the block, and we're going to lie on our stomach here. And you have to put your hand in 90-degree position. So if it's too difficult with the block, okay, you just take the block away. So, but the block helps you to get your hand higher, so you're kind of trying to lift higher. So when we're working with rotator cuff or external rotation, you have to understand that movement is happening in your shoulder joint, not with your hand, okay? Your palm is neutral, it's straight, so you're working just with your shoulder joint, as I'm showing you here, okay? Now place the elbow down onto the floor. Make sure you're holding those 90-degree positions. You can open up your fingers, you can close them, whatever you feel better. So next thing which you will do, you will lift up as high as you can. Then imagine that you have to lift up your elbow in the height of your hand. Now, when you lift this up, you have to place down the elbow by holding your palm in the same height. See how slowly I'm doing this? If you can see, My hand is actually shaking because I'm trying to intentionally create this exercise, and then it goes down. I'm doing this with head is up so you can hear me and see me, but you have to place your head down so your neck is neutral. Nothing else is working here, just your rotator cuff. So you're lifting up your hand, lifting up your elbow as high as you can, placing down your elbow. Try to hold your hand. And keep breathing and do this as slow as possible. And place it down. Lift up elbow. Place it down. And this is terribly hard. Terribly hard. So lift up elbow. Going down. Yes. So what you're actually doing here is trying to develop shoulder stability in your external rotated position. So that's why elbow is shaking, because it's hard to hold the external rotation. Why? While, okay, this is stability, what you're trying to achieve in your shoulder. And that's why you need to work slow and aware. Let's do one more, then we move to the other hand. Lift up, elbow, down, 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 down. Yes. Okay, I'm going to show you the other one from the front. So you have different angles here. So 90-degree position, and lift up, elbow, elbow, and palm. Continue, elbow, elbow, and palm. And continue. Keep breathing. Two more. Slow as possible. One more. Okay, so now we're going to place those 90 degrees onto the floor and stretch out. Go onto the side. And if you feel like, okay, this is nice and my shoulder is close to the floor, you can try to go deeper. If the shoulder lifts up from the floor and it's too high, you have to stay here. Do not go deeper. Do not create a twist in your lower back without actually stretching your chest out. So how do we do if we want to go deeper? We just bend the leg, the same leg that's shoulder stretching, okay? And you push the knee out as much as you can and help with the other hand to push a little bit more. Fingers wide open. All finger pillows are onto the floor here. And switch. Go to the side. And doing these couple of exercises, you should already feel like opening up, especially if you're training much and you feel tight in your back, in your shoulders. This can actually help you feel better and balance things out that you're doing onto the pole. Okay, so now we did external rotation exercise onto the floor. Now we're going to do this with a resistance band. So if you have this kind of resistance band, you can do it as me. I will just tie it up. So if you do this, if you are doing this like this, okay, it will be too thick. It will be too hard for your poor shoulders. So it's better that your resistance band is weaker than too strong, okay? A lot better, because you can actually you will be able to do the exercise, but I will show you now. Okay, so it should be more or less your shoulder wide, the resistance band. If it's really easy, it can be smaller, okay? Then you will have more things to work on. So you put your shoulders really close to your sides, elbows are close to your side and they stay there, okay? Your hands are in 90-degree position as well, like in previous exercise. So on here, you're going to push out and go back. And this is how we strengthen the external rotators in your rotator cuff. Just make sure your movement is not here, not yet, okay? Your movement is here, just rotators are working here, okay? That's why this movement has to be small, maybe, okay? You don't do a lot of stuff because it's very isolated. You're trying to target the specific muscles here. Just rotation. Open, close. And now we're going to open and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. If you feel the burning in your shoulders, then you're doing everything well. If you're starting to feel your back, means you're doing it wrong. You should not feel your back working here, just the burning in your shoulders. Let's do one more set of this. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold open 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. My band is really thick, really thick. That's why it feels like really, really hard. So, working with shoulders resistance bands, in my experience, is a must. So you don't have to do them like every day, but you have to add a couple of exercises into your stretching routines, into your warm-ups even sometimes. If you already feel like the injury is coming, you have to find the right exercises, how to prevent from this injury to go further along the way, okay? So just try to be aware and listen to your body. If something hurts, that's not okay. That's not okay. You have to think about the what it will cause you in the future, okay? So next exercise, here now you will lift up those 90 degrees like this. Now we're doing abduction, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just one hand. 1, switch, 2, and the other one is holding strong, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ooh, shoulders working a lot, working a lot. You can shake them out. A couple of exercises with resistance band here, okay? So now we're going to extend hands and you're going to pulse open and you're going to walk up and down, while you are pulsing open. Keep your hands straight, your back is straight. I'm going to show you from the side. You do not arch your lower back, and we start pulsing. Hands are straight. Move up. Do not arch in your lower back. Keep your back straight and going down. Whew. This is a really good one. As you can see, the shoulder kind of feels like it's pulsing when you're doing this exercise. So it's really nice exercise. Resistance band is a wonderful creation. So let's do this one more time. And keep breathing while you're doing this exercise. Hands straight. Hands straight. Nice. Very good. Okay. Now this one will be super hard, super tough. So if you have a normal resistance band that it's actually weak, usually they look yellow or green, the weaker ones. And this is the right for you probably because this exercise will be actually really, really challenging. So put your elbows close like this and try to leave them there, okay? And we're going to lift up those 90 degrees. I will show you from the side. You're pushing out like you're creating an external rotation, trying to hold that slight little movement, which you just did with external rotation, trying to hold it and moving those 90 degrees up. Do not arch in your lower back. Then when you feel like you cannot go no further, do not open your elbows. Elbows are closed. You extend, open straight hands, and they go behind. Extend, close in. And now the first movement is going into your elbows to that 90-degree position and back. So if it's too difficult for you to do this with resistance band, try to do this actually without to get along with this movement. From the front, you will do here 90 degrees as far as you can go. Do not arch in your lower back. Extend, open, and the band goes behind your head. Back, close, and back to your 90-degree position. So this is a great exercise. I will do this one more time with you guys with this resistance band. It's really thick. It's really hard for me to do this really good. So sorry if I'm not doing this the way I'm telling you to do this. I'm trying to do my best here, okay? So you're opening up 90 degrees, elbows, extend, open up, behind, close, elbows. As you can see, I was shaking all the way through when I was doing this. Ooh, nice, nice. Now here we will do couple of exercises for your scapula. First one, you take the blocks. You sit like this, and you're going to extend your hands. Your hands will stay extended here, and all you will do is slide in and out. You can connect your legs like this, whatever works for you better, okay? Just make sure your blocks are in shoulder wide position. You can place them down like this. I will show you from the back. Your scapula is an important muscle that helps you protect your rotator cuff as well. So we kind of need it to be strong and engaged as well. And this is the one part, one exercise that can actually help you do it. Nice. Great. After here, we're going to do scapula push-ups. Your fists are looking up. This exercise, I put it almost in everything what I do here. In my all warm-ups, all the time. You have seen this exercise before. I like to do this way, that your palms are facing up, and you're not kind of trying to work with, you're trying to push off from those elbows, just the elbows. Okay, and while you're doing that, you need to hold your plank. So place your elbows underneath your shoulders, go into your plank position, make sure it's nice and proper, and we're moving into your scapula, pushing off. Nice. And from here, you can round, rest here a bit. Nice. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of cars here as well. Controlled articulation rotations. Okay, so this was a lot of stability, mobility exercises, being aware of your shoulders and about everything that wraps around them to make them stronger. So resistance bands are really a nice thing to do it. But this exercise you have probably already seen and done, but I will just remind you this one, okay? You place the block between your thighs and between your tummy, because that is, I like to do this exercise better like this than on your stomach. Just because it kind of, you don't have to involve anything else, just your shoulders, okay? Try to keep your neck neutral. Your lower back is relaxed here. That's why I like this exercise. And your thumbs are looking up. And now you're trying to work in your end range. Open up. Rotation. Connect. Extend. Rotation. Working your end range. Okay, so let's try to mix this up. So each hand will go in their own direction. Remember, rotation is happening in your shoulder joint, not in your wrist joints, okay? Just shoulder joint is rotating. One is rotating in, the other one is rotating out. The one is rotating in goes behind, keeping your elbows high as you can and try to control this movement. And the one is rotating out will move here, right above your shoulder, and you will move it behind your head and extend, okay? So this is called the swimmer exercise. I really like it. It's really nice if you try to work in your end range and really be aware of what you're doing over there, okay? As high as you can. One rotates in, the other one rotates out. Okay, one behind, head, one behind, back. Extend, rotate. Oh, nice, nice. And we're going to stretch it out now. One more exercise for your shoulders, and then we're moving on to our chest. So extend the hand, palm is facing up in your shoulder line. Move to your side, and if you can, you reach your other palm, or you can just put it close to your back here, okay? So the most important thing is to stretch the hand that's lower down. So do not pressure yourself about it that you can't reach it, okay? It's not important now. If you can, it's nice. If you cannot, that's also nice. Enjoy the stretch. And as more as you're going to the side here, the more you're going to feel the stretch in your shoulder. So you can press down a little bit with the other leg if you like, to feel it even more, even deeper. Nice. And switching the other hand. So it doesn't mean that you have to do all these workouts in 1 week in the beginner program. Uh, it means that you kind of trying to fill yourself up with a little bit more knowledge from my experience, and fill yourself up with exercises that you can actually do to help your progress, and choose favorite exercises and just add them in one stretching workout. Just combine them, make a compilation in your stretching workout of your favorite exercises, okay? And that can actually help you a lot. And after a while, you just take some other exercises, switch, make them some of the exercises harder, okay? So you don't have to do this all workout in one workout. I hope you're doing this with me, because your shoulders will feel amazing after this exercise, as well as your chest and your position. And this kind of work, what we're doing here today, can actually improve your posture. And all what you do in your posture actually presents itself on the pole as well. So if your posture is balanced, it says a lot of good things about yourself, your ability, what you can do, what you can do. Okay, because my posture, when I started pole, and actually when I was a kid, was like this. This was my normal posture. Okay, now I'm just relaxed like this. But when I was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was looking like this. So it took me a while to correct it and actually look like a normal human being. Okay, so just take it from my experience. The posture actually helps a lot of things. So one more exercise, which I really like, and I suggest you to do. But here you will need um, taller, yeah, uh, longer, sorry, longer resistance band, and you're going to step on it, and you're kind of going to create a diagonal movement here. So it's really a nice exercise. First of all, because we're doing a lot of spins, as you can see, and diagonals are the one thing that we are actually doing on the pole. So it's nice to condition a little bit it without the pole. So just pulling band from one side to the other side. Nice. And let's change. Feet are a little bit wider. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if the band is thick like mine, you will feel to hold and maintain your position. You need to engage your core. You need to engage your stance. So you feel like, so you feel that the band is not controlling you. You are controlling the band. Okay. I will drink a little bit, and we're moving further into the chest. First of all, I will show you a great exercise how to open your shoulders, because we did a lot of things now to strengthen them. Decompression, strengthening, stability, and mobility as well. Mobility you can achieve with resistance bands, but mostly the mobility actually comes from cars. So what we did here, if you're working in your end range, you are kind of developing mobility in your shoulder joint. Not only you trying to work in your end range and create a greater amplitude while you're doing it, but your shoulder is staying strong and controlled in that position. And it really actually helps a lot not to tighten up, because on the pole, when you feel, oh, my shoulders are very flexible, after a few months doing pole, you're like, oh, I don't feel so flexible anymore. So you have to do these kind of exercises not to lose your flexibility in your shoulders. So we're taking 2 blocks and we're going to do a puppy pose. This is my favorite exercise for shoulder opening. On the blocks, you walk away, but your knees have to be underneath your hips. Okay, now pull your shoulder blades slightly together and your pelvis is engaged, so you do not arch in your lower back, trying to move deeper in your shoulders. And those of you who feel like, okay, this is too easy and your chest already touched the floor and you feel like you have engaged all what needs to be engaged, because you have to pull your shoulder blades together. That is what you're doing here, pulling your shoulder blades together, okay? Then you can try to do the extended puppy with extending your legs. Looking forward. This is nice. Okay, let's move to chest. So your shoulders should be fine and nice. So chest, as I said before, chest opens just a little bit, okay? And the opening actually more in our back bends happens through our shoulders. If you're talking about a wheel pose, I will turn on my music a little bit off. So you're lying on the blocks. So you're placing the blocks where your shoulder blades are, a little bit lower. So you have to feel when you're lying onto the blocks that your chest here between is the thing that's actually opening up, okay? Now place your hands behind your head, close your elbows. Now here you have a kind of rounded position. So creating an inhale, exhale, open up, going down, coming up, going down. And you can stay here for a while. Extend your legs, extend your hands. If your head is going to the floor, you can place it down to the floor. Just make sure your hands are straight, shoulder wide. And enjoy the opening. Great. Place the hands behind your head. Come up, bend. Nice. So before we go to chest opening poses, what I will provide you today, these poses that I will give you today are all about if you want to do a beautiful bridge pose, for example, the wheel pose, sorry, or you want to go deeper in your back bending positions. This is the basics what you have to do before you even start doing back bending positions. So more it's about actually engaging what you need to engage to protect your lower back. So you need lower back strengthening as well as pelvis strengthening. Pelvis is really important for your back bends to make it safe. Of course, you need your abdominal muscles to actually be strong as well. So that's the first thing. Next thing, what you need strong glutes and strong legs. And you need, but legs, we will talk about that in our front split class, okay? Not here, not today. And shoulders open and strong shoulders, strong arms. That is what you need actually in chest opening, in back bending position. So I will try to make it short and really clear today so you can understand the basic stuff. Before we go to chest opening positions, so we're going to start with our pelvis strengthening. So you exhale all the air you have in your tummy and push your tailbone to the floor. Okay. Now from here, you're going to lift up 90-degree position. Lift up your own position. Okay. And we're going to go into hollow body and back. 1, 2. Make sure your hands are shoulder wide. Okay, now you're going to move in your hollow body. You can just move your legs a little bit further away if it's too difficult. Okay, and just the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And coming up. Okay, next exercise before we start. Put all of this together back on into your back. Okay, so you're not arching, engaging your pelvis. Your legs are hip wide and you're trying to maintain this line. Okay, yeah, so you're not arching your lower back. Like sometimes I see when people are doing this. Don't do that. You're in a line, pulling together your line. And you're trying to work with that line, what you have created, and come up with the strength of your legs, okay? Okay, nice. Now from here, we're gonna do glute and lower back exercise, one of my favorite exercises. Before we start to do chest opening positions, just to make sure that everything what we need to work is actually working, okay? So you put the block between your feet. Here, you need to tuck in your pelvis. Your pelvis is tucked in correctly. When your vagina bone is going into the floor, you kind of feel that your vagina bone is trying to make a hole into the floor, okay? That sounded really weird, but you understand what I mean. And we're going to lift up those 90-degree position with holding the block. The block is because we do not want to open our legs wider than hip position, than your hips, okay? And keep those 90 degrees. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're going to lift up, extend, 1, bend, lower down, 2, lower down, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so your lower back, your glutes are engaged. So the easiest position that is helping us to understand how chest opening actually works is the Sphinx pose. So you go onto your tummy, place your elbows underneath your shoulders here, okay? We're still not starting the Sphinx pose, okay? It looks already that like we are in it, but we're actually not. So you have to, uh, again, push your vagina bone into the floor. And when you're doing that, you actually feel that your glutes are engaging and your lower back is safe. Lower back is safe when this engagement is happening, okay? Next thing, you have to open up wide your fingers, push your shoulders away from your ears to create a tall and beautiful neck. And you're going to push your shoulder blades together here. And you kind of should feel that you're trying to pull the ground underneath you when you're doing this. Nice. So when this engagement is happening and you don't feel any pain in your lower back, you can try to extend your hands. So now you should feel a little discomfort in your lower back, but that's quite all right. You can always walk a little bit further away with your hands or try to engage a little bit more. So your biceps are looking to the front here, okay? Not here, here. Shoulders pressed down, shoulder blades together, vagina bone into the floor, and we will try to pull the ground underneath you. So you're going to try to pull the mat underneath you with the help of your shoulder blades, your scapula. Walking back, everything is engaged, pulling underneath. Walking back, pulling. Walking back, pulling. And on the last repetition, we pull, hold, maintain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. So once you can do this, you can actually try to move into your cobra. Okay. I suggest you to do the baby cobra because usually cobra is for very flexible people with no back issues. So we will try to do the baby cobra. So everything the same, engagement is the same. Vagina bone, glutes, elbows close, neck is tall. I mean, just coming up, elbows close, going down. Keep pushing your vagina bone into the floor. 2, elbows close. 3, neck is tall. 4, 5, and 6. Pull the ground underneath you. Hold, 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 hold. Okay. Nice. Now we're going to round your back a little bit to release the tension, compensate a little bit. So even in a workout, you're doing compensational stuff. So when you're doing a lot of back bending, you have to compensate those moves, okay? Not to end up in pain after workouts. So the next pose, which is really nice, is the camel pose, what I suggest a lot of people to do before you start any back bending positions. So you are engaging all of you that you have to engage by pushing your hips forward. Okay, so glutes engage, legs engage. To maintain this position, of course, pelvis is working. Okay, now here you're opening up, of course, neck is tall. So baby camel is when you place your hands like this on your buns, inward. Okay, and you're pulling your your elbows together by pushing your hips forward. This is the baby camel. Okay, if you have some back injuries or discomfort, a lot of discomfort in swings pose, you are doing just baby camel. Do not go further, okay? So the next thing, next level, you can put your hands onto and go a little bit further away with your upper body, as you can see, okay? The actual camel is when you place your hands onto your heels and push forward. So now it's really good that you can see if you are actually ready to go to this camel variation, is that your hips are in the same line as your knees. So if you're here, probably you should do the baby camel, okay? So you have to be able to push yourself forward to actually feel what's going on in here. So if you are doing too much of this, you're not engaging what we need to engage. Okay? And how we compensate the camel, you place your hands onto your heels, round, and we're going onto our head with our butt comes up. Nice stretch and roll up. Okay, these three, including the puppy pose, I have to write it down that I gave you this one. It's most common, most needed positions, what you need to actually be aware of before you start to do anything more serious, like the wheel pose. Wheel pose is really difficult. If you cannot make in these three positions, you will probably not be able to do the wheel pose as well. So correctly, definitely no. So the next pose, which is quite difficult, is the bow pose. But I will show you variations of the bow pose. And you can try to play around it. It depends how well conditioned and flexible you are. But the bow pose, you need to actually be able to engage all of your body at once to make it safe and to make it controlled, okay? So the bow pose is on our tummy. Starting from here, from this position, okay? So how we start to condition our bow pose is that you start from a Sphinx pose. Whatever we did in a Sphinx pose, you're doing here as well, okay? Just engage the same what we needed to engage. Your vagina bone, shoulders, neck is tall. And you bend one leg and extend your hands. Okay, if you can bear this, you can try to go further. Now you're going to need to push from one hand and the other one will reach your foot. The foot starts to pull, vagina bone goes into the floor, neck is tall. This is how we start to condition our bow pose. Everything is engaged. Even if I'm talking here, I'm thinking about how much I'm pushing my vagina bone into the floor. How tall is my neck? Am I really working with this leg? Okay, all of these things you have to do at once before you try to go into your bow pose. So it's really important that you actually condition. So, and I will show you how we do the bow pose when you feel that this is already okay and fine for you, that you feel really good in this. So the bow pose happens. So you pull in your vagina bone, start from Sphinx, okay? Your legs have to be strong here as well. You bend one leg, start like this, like we did before, okay? And you reach. Now you have to actually really pull with this leg to hold your position up and bend the other leg and reach the other leg and start pulling with both legs. So this is the actual bow pose. And usually I see that the alignment of this position is not quite all right for beginners. Well, beginners, I don't suggest you to do this, but you can try, okay? So you know what kind of position is this. So before you do an actual wheel pose, this is the position what you have to go through to feel how it is to engage so many muscle groups at the same time and actually be aware of your flexibility. So the variation, what I can provide you with this position is a block, using a block and putting it here onto your pelvis, still on your tummy, okay? Put it onto your pelvis like this. Okay, so now you're a little bit higher with your upper body, which is what we need. Make sure your legs are more or less hip wide position. Bend, reach, reach. And this is a lot easier, and you feel the alignment on my bow pose actually came better. And you can feel where you want to go, how high you need to actually work into this. So, and after all of this, we need to stretch our lower back, okay? Firstly, you have to do this position, to release the tension in your lower back. And then we're going to cross. You can stretch the side through the front. Inhale, exhale, round your back and stretch it out over here. Great. So if you have any questions about the subject we were talking about today, how to work, what are your problems, maybe some kind of difficulties of understanding how something works, just feel free to write me and ask me questions. So I hope you enjoyed this workout and have a wonderful day.